Hey, what's going on, fellas? Six Paths Dunga coming to you all again with another video. It's that time of the month yet again. Come on, just say it with me one time. Say it with me. It's time for me to read all your hot takes and predictions for the upcoming chapter of Boruto TBV VORTEX. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I'm excited. Excited because we're finally moving on to something fresh and new. It's like we're about to read a whole nother story. Now, of course, I love the Suna arc. I actually think Boruto's Land of Wind arc was slightly better than Naruto's, but to move on to something fresh after 10 months of the same arc, nothing beats it, bro, I swear. But if you guys wanted to be in the video today, I put up a post on my community tab. You were supposed to comment under that with your hottest take and prediction for chapter 25. I went ahead and picked out 10 of my favorite comments to go over today, so I'm ready to get it going. But before I do, let me just take a quick second to ask you guys to leave a like on the video. It helps me extremely in the YouTube algorithm. So if you have a moment out of your busy day, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, without further delay, let's get into these comments. So let's start with this comment. Boruto's group arrives, Shinji and Gaara free, Mamushi on the move with a claw grime army. This seems like the safest comment to start with, but in all reality, it might not be. It's true that Boruto and the rest of Team 7 is about to head back to Konoha, but things may not all be good and dandy back in Sunagakure. Does anyone remember when Mitsuki told Araya to head back to Gaara and Shinji to save them? We don't exactly know how safe he is. What are the odds he gets ambushed, and by whom? I just made a video on how I think there's a very high chance we could see someone like Code intercept Araya on his way to Shinji and demand he hand over the Thorn Soul. For obvious reasons, I might add. It wouldn't necessarily be out of the ordinary for JURA to do the same thing either. Although Konohamaru said that the Shinju view eliminating Boruto as a higher priority than their own kin, this situation doesn't apply anymore. Simply because Boruto has retreated, that means he's not in the picture. Boruto could have been a higher priority, but now it's fair game. If JURA wants his comrade's Thorn Soul back, there really isn't anything Araya could do about it. And also, remember when Matsuri was in the hideout that Shinji and Gaara are being held? We gotta think, since all the Shinju have link vision thanks to the Rinnegan, JURA knows where this place is. He knows what Konoha is trying to do and what their plans are with the Thorn Soul. So if Matsuri or anyone that's been there has placed claw marks anywhere close to that area, it just gives JURA easy access to reuse Thorn Soul if he so wishes. And while we're on the topic, like I said, Code could also be after the Thorn Soul. As someone who is searching for ways to accumulate more power to accomplish his goal of killing Boruto and Kashinkoji, if it turns out that the Thorn Soul bulb grants a power amp if consumed like everyone thinks, then this is a golden opportunity for him to make a move. It's a very high possibility considering we haven't even seen or heard of him and his whereabouts for about 10 chapters now. And Mamushi is on the move according to Kashinkoji, so I can't wait to see him next chapter. We haven't really seen him interact with the outside world, so this is a very solid time for Mamushi to develop his character some more. Okay, moving on. After being exposed by JURA, Kawaki will have to go and either check on Naruto in his dimension, or he will go to safeguard the dimension. Either way, we will get a scene in the dimension where Naruto is. Kawaki will also have a flashback to show exactly what upgrades he got from Amado, and we will also see if he actually went through with Amado's plan to revive his daughter yet. Actually, I don't think Kawaki gotten exposed just yet. Remember, JURA only confirmed that Naruto was alive. He didn't say anything about where he was. That means Naruto is still very safe from the likes of JURA. Kawaki knows that nobody can enter the Daikokuta dimension without the Kokugan, meaning he's the only person that's capable of going there. He has no need to safeguard the place. Actually, that might do more harm than good. He shouldn't panic in this situation because he still has a good standing in Konoha even after these events. Many people already know that Naruto is alive from Boruto. Even the village elders know. But nobody knows that Kawaki has something to do with it, other than Shikamaru, I guess. But he's rapidly losing his memory due to omnipotence. So he'll only have this information for only so long. It's true that Sumire heard this conversation between JURA and Kawaki, so I guess she knows now, but even she knows it's not a good idea to just outright and snitch on Kawaki. There's still not enough information provided on the topic to even start forming accusations against Kawaki. It's very possible she even keeps this information from Sarada. Sumire knows that it's best to keep quiet because if they get involved too much, it could get dangerous for them. And that's exactly why Sumire and Sarada had that disagreement, because she understands why Boruto keeps them in the dark about certain information. It's to keep them safe at the end of the day. So it's cool to have this information on the down low, but to make a bold move as to blurt this news out to the higher ups is actually a bad idea. So finally, speaking about a flashback that shows the process of Kawaki getting his limiters removed, that's also a good idea. I actually thought we would get something like that after chapter 23, followed by the fight between Kawaki and JURA, but they decided to go against that and show us new lore behind the conversation between Boruto and Kawaki. So now I wonder, will we ever get to see that flashback? I don't know. I really wouldn't mind it though. It actually makes sense too, because seeing Code get his limiters removed was actually a big thing. We've seen Amado yell out the command phrase to remove his limiters, and the physical change that followed. So to see Amado use Kawaki's special verbal command phrase, as well as some additional dialogue between those two, would be very cool. So hopefully we get to see something like that. They better do it while it's still fresh, they still have time. And regarding Amado's plan, Kawaki's not going to do that until the threats like Boruto, Code, and the Shinju are all dealt with. So he didn't do anything about that at this time. Okay, now moving on to the third comment, we have next chapter they should show how it looks to revive those who became a Shinju and their next plans. But I know Sumire will ask questions about Lord Seven's whereabouts. Oh yeah, I can't wait for that. All of that build up for the Thorn Soul since chapter 12, it better work. They better be able to save Moegi. I actually think Matsui's Thorn Soul bulb is pretty safe. Ryu's on the other hand, I don't know. So even if someone snatches the one that Araya has, we should still see the Thorn Soul in action because nobody is taking the one Konoha has. They got too many heavy hitters guarding it. If it's not JURA literally just coming back to take it himself, then I'd say it's pretty safe. And about Sumire, I just explained that she will probably ask some questions, but only with a select few people. She might even choose to keep this information to herself because of how detrimental it is for someone like Kawaki. Sure, she's trying to help Boruto, but again, she knows her place. She even knows Boruto wouldn't want her to reveal that information. Perhaps she goes to Boruto about something like that, but nothing too crazy. She probably won't go looking for Naruto just yet. Shinki isn't brought back because we don't know how it works, but maybe the soul bulb doesn't rot because it's in the tree. Then Shikamaru sends Team 10 to protect the bulb. I guess they're protecting it until they figure out how to make it work. I mean, that could be true. Nobody knows how the Thorn Soul works but Boruto and Kashinkoji, I presume. Then there's a whole other problem. They can't use it to save Shinki. And then with people potentially after it like Code or JURA, this isn't the time to have something go wrong like that. Team 10 joining in the mission is a huge possibility too. Judging from Kashinkoji's vision, we can literally see Inogen in what looks like to be the same hideout that Shinki and Gaara are located. So if anything, that's a huge giveaway that something like that could happen in this upcoming chapter. And if that's the case, this arc isn't over quite yet. We could potentially be getting another battle. We also see Inogen trying to use a mind transmission technique, so maybe he's contacting Konoha in order to learn how the Thorn Soul works from someone who knows how to use it, possibly information originating from Boruto or Kashinkoji. After chapter 24, I think 25 is gonna get messy fast. Mamushi and Hidari force Boruto, Kawaki, and Eida to work together, but Kawaki's just pretending. Mid-battle he goes for Eida's life, turning it into pure chaos. Boruto's stuck fighting Kawaki and the enemy at the same time, while JURA watches from the shadows with that smug grin. It's the perfect setup for JURA's love sparks evolution theory to get tested in real time. And if Kawaki actually lands a hit on Eida, it could break Boruto's plan completely. Whoa, wait, what? In what world would Kawaki just try and kill Eida like that? Like, that would be so random and messed up. I actually think that's the worst possible scenario that can occur here. For one, you include Boruto, Kawaki, and Eida in a fight against Hidari and Mamushi, but forget Daemon. Even if Kawaki could kill Eida, Daemon wouldn't even let that happen. Not only would he not succeed in the attempt, but Daemon would just absolutely destroy Kawaki without second thought. So if you don't think Kawaki can just beat Daemon now, it's probably not a good idea for him to do that. Maybe Kawaki thinks if Eida is gone, then it works in his favor. I mean, Mamushi doesn't get to devour his target, alive at least. And the only other person that knows his secret besides Boruto is dead, but it literally doesn't work out for him at all. So I can't see a world where that happens. Wild take, Those two old fossils start to press Shikamaru for working with Boruto, and the feudal lords make their appearance and complicate things in Konoha. Mamushi will show up while Eida is showering like the movie Psycho. This is actually pretty concerning. I didn't think many people paid attention to this big plot point. But back in chapter 6, the village elders explained to Shikamaru that the daimyo, which are the feudal lords, are furious about this current situation. Boruto has to be eliminated, and if not, the village could possibly stop receiving funding from the Land of Fire, which could put the existence of Konoha in jeopardy. If they find out that Shikamaru is conspiring with Boruto, it could lead to him to lose his standing as Hokage, or even worse, being accused of treason. It could very easily lead to Shikamaru getting thrown in jail. And mind you, Boruto has a very beneficial relationship with Shikamaru. He got out some sticky situations because of him. Prime example, he's the reason why he was able to escape the interrogation room. And all throughout his return, he's gotten crucial information that helped him get that much closer to his goal. So believe it or not, without Shikamaru, this makes it nearly impossible for not only Boruto, but Kashin Koji as well, to enclose vital information to Konoha. Information about the Shinju, code, JURA, even information from Koji's future visions that would give Konoha a huge advantage over the enemy at any given time. So the village elders can ruin everything, because they don't truly understand the situation and what's at stake. So long story short, don't appoint senior citizens political jobs like this. It never works out well. So on to the 7th comment we have this evening. Boruto and his group arrive, Shinki and Moegi get revived, Sarada wakes up and gets filled, Kawaki tells Boruto to train his karma, then trains with him. The first half of this comment was just a repeat of what I already mentioned earlier, so I'm not really gonna address that at the moment. However, the only reason I included this comment was because of what he said at the end. I want to talk about that because I believe, as ironic as this is a very high possibility. Before the whole ordeal with omnipotence, we actually seen Kawaki and Boruto training before. Kawaki was trying to teach Boruto how to use his karma better, how to absorb chakra, even how to activate it on command. The training didn't really go that far, but something like this would work wonders for Boruto. Kawaki can finally put all that training that Jigen put him through to use, because they both know they're gonna need each other's help to take down JURA, but that's not possible if Boruto can't even control his karma. They can't risk the chance of him going out of control because of karma resonance. Even if Boruto chooses not to use the karma, he still has to learn how to control it, so Kawaki can use his karma when he fights alongside Boruto. So it's really beneficial to both of them, because we know Boruto can't stay like this forever. So a training arc, more specifically focused on the karma, is what I've been preaching for the longest. Hopefully they choose to do something like this in the near future, because Boruto definitely needs it. Daemon fails to protect Eida, Mamushi eats Eida. Now this all has to do with how Mamushi and Daemon match up, because if he's able to reflect all of Mamushi's attacks back at him with no problem, then I would say that Daemon should be able to keep Eida safe. But there's a chance that Daemon's Shinjutsu doesn't work against the Shinju, because of their instinctual drive being a hard counter to his power. It sounds like a long shot, but I did make a video on that very topic. When you watch it, you really understand better on how Daemon's Shinjutsu works and how the Shinju could be able to bypass its effects. I'll leave the link to the video in the description, so if you want an in-depth analysis on Daemon versus Mamushi, then go watch that video. I highly recommend it. But this really all depends on Daemon. Eida isn't really a fighter, and we know that. And there's a big chance, because of Mamushi's reaction to her Senragon, he isn't gonna be affected by omnipotence, so he'll be able to attack her easily if that's the case. And also we'll be able to see what happens to a Shinju once they successfully devour their target. It's just a shame that it had to be Eida, but maybe it's possible to save her if that's the case. I don't really see this outcome taking place, but I wouldn't rule it out. I'd be really surprised if Mamushi was able to beat Daemon though. So with that being said, it's really unlikely we'll see Eida be devoured, just strictly off that. So we're down to the 9th comment of the day. Almost done, just one more comment after this. So what do we have here? Arriving in the Leaf, Kawaki is arrested / questioned about the possible murder or kidnapping of Naruto. So I don't know about this one. Basically, if he's arrested, that would imply that someone told on Kawaki. But who? The only people that heard this conversation between Kawaki and JURA was Sumire and Amado. Nobody else should know. At least I don't think. And even if someone reported to Shikamaru, he even said he didn't want to corner Kawaki and expose what he did yet. Shikamaru knows everything, so whatever he hears isn't gonna be news to him. So because of this, I think the probability of Kawaki being arrested is low, at least as of right now. So finally, the 10th comment we have, Boruto uses FTG to teleport to Konoha with Team 7 and Kawaki/Delta. Shikamaru gets a punishment for letting Mitsuki help Boruto in chapter 14. Mamushi is arriving at Konoha and starts to search for Eida. Mitsuki and Kawaki and Daemon fighting Mamushi. Last panel, Mamushi is teasing a new technique and is about to get serious. Chapter 26 could start with Shinki's resurrection. Okay, I'm feeling this. Implying that Shikamaru could get in trouble for allowing Mitsuki to help Boruto is interesting. I actually think there's a chance Ino could snitch on him. She's the only Konoha official that knows the secret conversations that they've been having via the mind transmission technique. So Ino ratting Shikamaru out could be the crazy plot twist the story needs. Because other than that, how would anyone know that Shikamaru assigned Mitsuki that mission to help Boruto? Unless it was caught on camera or something, but still, I couldn't even imagine a scenario where he gets caught. It seems crazy to think about. But I guess we'll see if all this sneaking around actually gets Shikamaru in trouble. It would be interesting to see how he gets out of this. Would he be able to beat the allegations or not? He also said in his comment that Mitsuki, Kawaki, and Daemon fight against Mamushi, with the last panel being him teasing a new technique. Actually, do you know how crazy it would be if all those dudes worked together and were struggling against Mamushi? But maybe Mamushi has this crazy hack that literally makes him damn near unbeatable. And it could be related to him being able to see through the Senrigan. Like, what if Shinjutsu doesn't work on him? He can bypass omnipotence and reflection. Then there's a whole other problem that needs to be addressed because that's all Eida and Daemon got. Without their broken Shinjutsu, I'm afraid they're painfully average. Like, it's crazy to say, but that's the truth. So they better hope Mamushi doesn't have a nasty hack like that, or it might be game over. But that's it. That's all 10 comments for you guys. But before I end the video, I want to say if your comment didn't get chosen, do not be mad, don't get salty. I do this every month, so there's always next month and the month after that. Just be sure to keep commenting your best interesting comment, and I'll be sure to address it in the next video. But anyway, speaking of comment, if you didn't get a chance to comment down a hot take or prediction, go ahead and do it now. Let me know what you think will happen in chapter 25. Do you agree with any of the predictions in this video? Or maybe we all missed a crucial point that could play a big factor in the events of chapter 25. Okay, so without further ado, I think I'm gonna end it here. So if you enjoyed the video today and wouldn't mind seeing more like this in the near future, go ahead and drop that like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you know whenever I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next one, I'll see you boys and girls later, and I'm out. Peace.